look at this. I swear to God, it's the kind of shit you'd expect Tiger Woods to tee off with. Look at it. Rubber, rubber, rubber! It's raw, Melissa!
Yes, Chef.
It's raw, come on!
Yes, Chef.
It's raw! It's fucking raw!
Boris, what were you thinking, buddy? You don't mock Gordon Ramsay.
Boris!
Yes, sir.
Come here.
Yes, sir.
So I'm telling her about a raw pizza, and you'll mimic me at the back.
Sorry, Chef.
Yeah, so I'm telling her the pizza's raw. Come here, you face.
Oh, no.
And there you go. You touch it then. Now look at me. Take the piss out of me now, face. What's your crack?
I don't have any crack,
Yeah.
Chef.
What's your game?
I'm just here to cook, sir.
Now look at me. You take the piss out of me one more time in the middle of service, yeah? Kiss your ass goodbye. Is that clear?
Understood, Chef.
Wake up! Come here, you.
Yes, Chef.
Yeah, come here, you. So the chicken's raw, yeah? And you're frying it like a first class. Look at that. That's your best.
No, Chef. Yes, Chef, I the chicken up. He got in my face, I took it like a man, started over with a brand new chicken.
Fine dining.
No, Chef.
A fine mess.
It does always feel good to feel vindicated. The problem with that is that it takes time to feel vindicated, because not everything happens at once, or the next day, or even the next week. Sometimes it takes a couple of months, but here we are. And guess who was right yet again? The man in the room with the popsicle stick. The one that nobody ever gives credit to. Of course, I'm going to rub it in people's faces. Even though being right doesn't come with success or fame, it comes with something that these other content creators can't have. Peace of mind. You know, deep down inside, people like Angry Joe are not happy with their review of Spider-Man 2, especially slapping an 8 out of 10 on it after spending the majority of the review trashing aspects of the game, and even having the audacity to say that it's a very well-polished experience. There's absolutely no shame. The one time you expect Angry Joe to be angry, and he's just mildly upset. I'm not asking people to hate on the product. All I was asking for was honesty, and you got very little of that. During the launch of Spider-Man 2, people came at me about basically everything. The story, claiming I didn't know what love was. I have no understanding of it because I criticized the stupidity of Mary Jane jumping in front of Venom's attack and surviving and saving Peter and basically single-handedly defeating Kraven's army, and also being absolutely butchered and looking like the results of fetal alcohol syndrome. The one thing a lot of people were in denial about, including the almighty Keith, was how the game wasn't buggy, the game wasn't rushed, the game wasn't glitchy.
In case you are unaware, whenever console loyalists or haters of a game do this type of cherry picking, the rest of the world is laughing at them, lol. Like, there will never be a narrative that Spider-Man 2 was a buggy mess outside of the specific Twitter bubble you are in.
You had people coming out labeling this as the best superhero game since Batman Arkham Knight. I kid you not, this exact same crowd, months later, are starting to suddenly realize that Insomniac ripped everybody off with an incomplete and undercooked project. I could sniff it out from a mile away. This was not a finished game. And now that we have proof of this, I want you guys to see it. Why? Well, because I'm a giving popsicle stick. And because I like to look at the salty comments from PlayStation fanboys who months ago were flooding my comment section saying I was reaching. Well, what do you gotta say now? Spider-Man 2 dev footage showing destructible environments and fighting Venom throughout the city.
What we think it is. Oh no, not through the wall. Everyone get to cover. The bad guys. Going easy on you guys. But now that you've put innocent people in danger, we're taking the gloves off.
Alright, normies, I want you to take a look at that footage, and I want you to realize the next time you doubt me, go back to this clip, go back to everything I told you, and realize it's a bad idea to try and contradict Daddy Frit. I have ears and eyes that work a lot better than the average person's, but just take a look already at everything that could have been. Destructible environments, Venom boss fight throughout the city. Just look at how much better it looks than the final product. No, I'm not talking about the graphics, but the presentation is infinitely better. What happened? Was the PS5 simply not strong enough for it? Well, as a PC Master Race elitist prick, I will tell you that probably. But in reality, resources were probably just too limited, even though the game had a budget of over 300 million and 5 years to work on. No, what I'm thinking happened here is the game was rushed, published far too soon for its own good. Why? Well, because PlayStation was desperate. And if you haven't noticed, based on the sales of a lot of the AAA games they've been publishing, they're going to get even more desperate. Helldivers 2 is the only thing that has exceeded all expectations. But when it came to Spider-Man 2, expectations were far from met. Something about this static open world didn't feel right. And well, now we know why. A good chunk of the physics were just completely cut out from the game. Sacrifices were made so that Sony would have a first-party game by fall season. Something to match Starfield's numbers. And honestly, I don't understand why Sony couldn't just wait a little longer, let this cook. Not that it would have saved the disastrous story, which was laughably bad, but the overall experience would have definitely been better. Miles Morales wouldn't be a floating head, Spider-Man wouldn't constantly clip through the map of the game, and Mary Jane may have actually looked like a woman. But one thing's for sure, that ugly-ass yellow Arthur sweater would have stayed. If you want a very long, informative, and concise criticism of Spider-Man 2, my recommendation is White Light's video. Excellent. Absolutely well put, in ways that I could never do. All I can point to you is cringe, but someone like him can break it down in autistic detail. But it's not just the lack of destructive environments, it's also the fact that the game is getting features that really should have been there at launch. There's absolutely no excuse as to why this game didn't have something like New Game Plus. I mean, we can hate on it all day, but even Starfield had this, and it wasn't even a good New Game Plus mode. What, with it erasing all the work I've done building bases? I didn't even want to go back to its New Game Plus after it did that. But it was still something. Here with Spider-Man 2, game modes that should have essentially been there from the beginning are coming in as updates 5 months later. But it's not just that you get. You get other essentials like mission replay, being able to change the time of day, tendril colors, action figure mode, stickers in photo mode, new suits, audio descriptions, screen reader, mono audio, captions, in-world text translations, high contrast outlines, high contrast presets, center dot color, aim arc color, target arc color, motion sensor aiming. My God, you know what the worst part is? Is that you know the audience who really loves this game is gonna view this as awfully generous by Insomniac. Well, they could have not given us these modes. Well, you know, they could have even charged us for this, but they didn't. Oh, how noble. They finally completed the project 5 months later. High five. Just imagine being one of the suckers that paid full price for this at launch, only to find out that the people who are paying far less than you for it now, picking it up, have a more complete game than you did at full price. An absolute slap to the face. Now, I remember a certain Halo game getting trashed on and dragged through the mud for not having mission replay. Spider-Man 2? People looked the other way. Reviewers failed to mention everything that was missing from this game, failed to mention the bugs and glitches, failed to mention the awful writing, and yet they still put out these reviews giving the game glowing praise, to the point that you had mofos saying things like this.
Insomniac has done an incredible job providing a consistent experience.
Oh yeah, sure. We're not done talking about the Spider-Man game that could have been. Because you see, another leak revealed that Spider-Man was originally going to have a multiplayer mode. Evidence of this can be found on Twitter through a trailer that was never revealed to audiences.
I don't think I'm gonna be enough this time, guys. But together, it just might be. You in?
Sorry, absolutely no refunds.
What could have been, what should have been, but you didn't get. This is very common of the gaming industry. It's not unique to Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is the best example because this is a beloved IP. It's the only thing I can think of that Mexicans and black people love more than Dragon Ball Z. Fools take entire days off of work just to be able to watch the latest Spider-Man film. But just think about it. Everything you're seeing here could have been in the final product. You could have had multiplayer, level select, polished, no bugs, fixed Mary Jane, more Venom segments. But my best guess what happened here is this entire thing was scrapped because it was probably ass. And it's not the first time Sony has pulled an entire multiplayer aspect of a game out of the final project. The Last of Us 2, ring any bells? Like this Twitter user pointed out, I don't think this was an accidental leak. This was definitely planned. Sony wants a sniff test from its audience, because this very well could be its own game in the future, separate from Spider-Man 2, which is not good. And it goes according to Insomniac's leaks and plans of dividing parts of these games and selling them to you as standalone releases, fully priced. Hell, who knows, by the time Wolverine comes out, games might go up by $90. But just look at everything. Take a step back, let that inner Spider-Man fanboyism go, let your inner PlayStation fanboyism go, and see it for what it is. If you got no problem looking at other games through these lenses, it shouldn't be so difficult with Spider-Man. But we know how the PlayStation fanboys can be. Very, 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 very forgiving of Sony. Unless they port to PC, of course. But if Sony wants to feed them crap, they'll gladly eat it. If they want to serve them cold chicken that could cause you to get sick, they would bite into that fresh drumstick uncooked, because dear old Jim Ryan provided. And Lord knows right now the PlayStation platform, along with the Xbox platform, are desperately in need of content. The driest console generation ever. This game does not deserve its credentials. I'm glad it won 0 awards. I'm glad it's not making back its money. I'm glad the majority of people have forgotten about it, because Spider-Man fans deserve way better than this. Well, I'm saying that, but then again, they all went out and bought and praised this, and now they're realizing they all got ripped off once they see everything that wasn't in the final product. It's like a night and day difference. I mean, we could speculate all day about what went wrong, but ultimately, what really matters is that you know. And going forward, I expect to see people be a lot more genuine in their take. What am I kidding? You're really gonna ask for that much, Frit? That's like asking for people to subscribe to you, which you should totally do right now. With that being said, I'll be seeing you very soon with something interesting, something involving a certain grifter. I hope you like it.
Fritongo sucks ass.